A quick look at the 1907 Tanana Directory leaves little doubt about what early Fairbanksans did in their spare time. The business guide listed 59 bars in town, from Albright's to the Wigwam Saloon. The town's population at the time was about 3,500 residents, one bar for every 60 people. The numbers are not quite so striking today, but Fairbanks' reputation for hard drinking and the problems that come with it remains. The state is among the U.S. leaders in per capita alcohol consumption, and a bevy of grim statistics, including high rates of violent crime, suicide, and sexual abuse, have ties to the state's struggle with beer, wine, and booze. Alaska's alcohol mortality rate is 3 times the national average.
There's no question that we have issues around excessive use of alcohol in this state, and so it's so nice to not only bring awareness to the issue and to raise the conversation and get people talking about it, but to do it in that hopeful and positive way.
Alcohol overuse has a significant impact on our community. Economically, alcohol and substance abuse cost $1.2 billion a year. Socially, alcohol abuse is often a contributing factor in child abuse, domestic violence, sexual assault, suicide, and homelessness. The Healthy Alaskans 2020 and Healthy Fairbanks 2020 assessments showed that alcohol abuse is the top community health issue for Alaskans and Fairbanksans. Eric Jukes has over 2 decades on the Fairbanks police force.
It's a community problem. It's not a law enforcement problem. I've been here for 23 years on the police department. I've seen both sides of it. I've seen the violent side of people who are drinking, and I've seen the victimization of people who have been drinking.
Recover Alaska is trying to make a difference. Formed by concerned citizens and backed by the Rasmussen Foundation, the Alaska Mental Health Trust Authority, Mat-Su Health Foundation, the State of Alaska, Providence, and South Central Foundation, Recover Alaska is pursuing a solutions-focused effort to recover, reclaim, and restore Alaska's family and communities by getting to the root causes of excessive alcohol consumption.
It's easy to look at the issue of alcohol and think that that problem is too big, it's too difficult to deal with, recovery doesn't work, none of this is worth it. I absolutely believe in the power of recovery, and I absolutely believe in the power of community to help folks get to kind of the better side of this. I think that it does impact the entire community, and so I think it will take the entire community to come together to reduce some of these negative impacts.
One of Recover Alaska's initiatives is a partnership with the Fairbanks Daily News Miner. Over the course of the past 12 months, the News Miner researched, explored, and reported on alcohol overconsumption in our community. Paths to Recovery shared success stories and documented solutions of Fairbanksans overcoming alcohol abuse and overuse.
The focus on this project was solutions. And we had felt, since we have done 2 series previously about alcohol in the Fairbanks area at least, that the problem was fairly well known. It's easy to report on problems and conflict, but seeing a positive result from the reporting, I think, is really rewarding. Not just for me as the editor on this project, but I'm sure for the reporters doing the day-to-day work on it as well.
During the course of the Paths to Recovery series, the News Miner highlighted the history of alcohol in Alaska. The series delved into the system of care for alcohol abusers and documented the lengthy delays that many people face in seeking treatment. Paths to Recovery provided insight into underage drinking and the programs in place to assist teens and families in crisis. 3 articles in January focused on the state's alcohol law reform bill, especially the recommendations related to how minor consumption charges are handled. In March, the News Miner staff reported how the Army combats alcohol abuse with aggressive testing and education. Finally, a series of articles drew attention to the community's efforts towards a sobering center, the successful concept of putting public inebriates into sleep-off centers rather than into jail cells and hospital beds.
Well, the big one is the sobering center. There was some discussion of that in Fairbanks already, but we learned in our reporting that there were just a couple of those in the state. So we sent one of our reporters to Bethel to look at the one that had been going there and looking at the success that they've had. And so we developed a pretty comprehensive story about that. And I think that it helped propel the discussion in Fairbanks about getting a sobering center here, which I think is widely seen as sorely needed in our community.
In addition to the News Miner's dedicated focus on alcohol overuse, a series of 4 community listening sessions were held to collect public insight on the issue.
After I got sober, I became a substance abuse counselor, and I had an opportunity to talk to thousands of people are struggling with addiction. Thousands of people who are struggling with addiction. And what I hear over and over and over again is that our system of care traumatizes them. I would ask everybody to think every second as you're making decisions, are we doing things that are going to further traumatize people who have already been harmed?
The first session focused on alcohol overconsumption in general. The second discussed underage drinking. The third discussed the feasibility of a sobering center. And the sessions concluded with a summary of Senate Bill 74 and Senate Bill 91 from the sponsors and staff of the two bills, Senator Pete Kelly and John Coghill. The legislative session will be remembered for the vicious budget battles. However, it is important that the good work done on Medicaid reform, criminal justice reform, behavioral health, and substance abuse legislation is not lost in community conversation. Although the problem is complex, the goal of this project was simple. The community of Fairbanks needs to work together to create systems, revise policies, hire treatment professionals, and build infrastructure that will lead to long-term improvements to our community's issue with alcohol. We need to get serious, get motivated, get organized, and work together for the health and well-being of our friends, neighbors, and communities.
The police department cannot solve this problem. It takes a community to solve this problem.
So what are you going to do? If you would like to help, contact Tiffany Hall at 907-249-6644 or visit recoveralaska.org.